Welcome back. This is Orcs Must Die series by our Sexmo. Playing the game on Nightmare, trying to achieve the 5 skulls. This is level 11, Choas Chamber. So this is the first level you get the weavers on. This was actually probably one of my more favourite maps. I think it's this one. Playing through on War Mage. It was a little bit trickier. I'll skip. It was a little bit trickier on the Nightmare. So once again, if you've been watching the series, I picked my first 4 items: the Wind, the Lightning, the Frost. Now I really want the Charm, the Coin Forge, the Archers are good, the Brimstone, the Wall Arrows. Yeah, you could use the push ones instead. And the last one, I think Guardians, but I don't even think I use any, really. So I want my Knowledge Weaver straight up. I want to get the extra coin. So I know this map. So this is basically double decker, 2 entrance points, 1 rift, and you got to use the portal to teleport between the lower and upper deck. And by your rift is a nice standing platform as well. We can put lots of guardians. So here I'm using my normal technique, placing the coin forge down, throwing that AoE dot or rain to get the mass kills, and really trying to milk it by pushing the units back. There we go, into the lightning to ensure that I get the most amount of money. Now these little kobolds can get the better of you sometimes, so it's really important just to keep on top of it. That's why I threw down the lightning. Also, you do have the opportunity to use the wind to push them into the lava if you get overrun. So that was the first wave. The second wave is pretty much identical but up the top. Now they got a little bit more money. I will be placing the arrows along the wall. Like I said, you could use the push traps, but I think the arrows are just a little bit nicer. I'm cautious not to cover the entire floor into of coin traps, but I don't think it allowed me. But later on I'll use that space for charming, because there are a few ogres in this map. There we go, nice good group killing, and also focus killing over the coin trap, just to ensure maximum dollars. As you can see, it's up to 5k now. So I think I'm going to get a little bit lost. I can't remember if it's top or bottom, so it's handy to stay by the portal. So I know this pattern here is a null at the bottom, a null at the top, and 2 nulls at the bottom and 2 nulls at the top. My way of taking them out is using the ice. It just frees them, and then two or 3 headshots normally does the trick. Or if you get overwhelmed, you can stand next to the lava and use the wind and just push them back in. And there's the final 2. Now, gnolls won't actually run into the rift, so they will just either go after you, or barricades, I believe, or guardians. So since I haven't put any of my guardians up yet, I knew that they were going to come after me and not a danger to go into the rift. But it is nice to take them out, one at a time, rather than wait till all 4 to gang up. Now I knew these 2 ogres were coming this way, so that's why I used the charm. So that's why I pop down, charm them, and come back up the top to attend this. And I can see on the map that there's more of a wave pouring out. You can tell that it's on the top level or the same level as you, because the red dots are bright, and the dull dots mean that they are on a different level to you. So that's very important to note on this map, especially if you're by the rift and you're not sure whether mobs are coming up from above or from below. Just look at the mini map and you can tell by the colour of the dots. Now here, because Nightmare doesn't let you have any real breaks, I've let 1 or 2 monsters live, and that gives me the time to run back here and put these guardians up here, and they can shoot both upper and lower decks of the pathway. Now I know that the 2 fire ogres were there, and they came at the bottom. So on this wave there's 2 frost ones that pop up the top, so that's why I didn't spend all my money, because I want to come back up here and charm them. So there we go. Even though they take a little bit of a battering from the arrows, it's no big deal. They'll still have lots of health, and so that's good. So I got 2 ogres, both below and above, helping me out. So as you can see, my guardians here are taking effect. I'll place more arrow traps there, and I'll just be building on this sort of kind of defense, throwing in brimstones where I can, and trying to charm whatever ogres I can as well. And the next wave coming, I'm not sure if I know if it's up or down. I can see that it's up and they're running fast, so that normally means either kobolds or the giant gnolls. In this case it's kobolds, and like I said earlier in previous videos, the brimstone is a pretty good way to take care of them along with the guardians, because kobolds typically run a bit too fast for most traps, and they'll set them off. The first one will set them off and manage to escape, so it can take out trailing kobolds behind it, but yeah, using brimstone just ensures that if it runs over it, it's gonna take it out. So yes, just make sure that the oh, that was a good block, so I didn't have to deal with that. So I'm still looking to protect my ogres. I know typically whatever happens at the top is going to happen at the bottom, so there's the other three gnolls for the bottom. So I managed to do that in the right order, the top first and then the bottom second. Still a little bit of a battle fight here going on. A few gnolls still around. So at this point I could either put more arrows along the wall or more like defenders nearer to the rift. I noticed upgrading my weaver would be another option, but I lose track of that during the game. As you can tell, it's pretty hectic running up and down by the portal. So that's your main sort of the areas you want to stay by. Now my ogres have kind of wandered to the front here. There's not a lot you can do about it, but it's kind of okay because once they die it will reactivate those other two charm pads. And I know there's more ogres coming that way soon, so it's no big deal. And here I want to come up and try and protect my ogres from these sappers, even if it means I have to take the damage. Doesn't really do a good job there, but it's something to bear in mind as well. On the mini map I can see the dull dots, so I know that there will be probably sappers running at the bottom, and I well, just kind of let my ogres die there a bit, but anyway, I've protected them a bit better. So I'm just bolstering the defences, putting the arrows sort of more in the hallway a bit further along in case there's any escape. Yeah, so you really got to time the kills on the sappers. Make sure they don't do too much damage. There we go, there's my orcs have died. As you can see, one of those charm pads pop back up. I believe it's if the charm monster has to die for it to get respawned. I'm not too sure. Anyway, I'm just waiting for the next wave. I see it's more sappers, kobolds, which aren't giving me too much grief. So I'm feeling comfortable about this wave at the moment. So I'm just waiting for the next big thing, and where I think I could use more defense or place more defense. There we go, got my two charms back. Ooh, he almost made it through. I suppose the other, see, I haven't really used the guardians, the paladins so to speak, so I could use something else, maybe crossbows up the top or tar or something. Now I really want to charm these two, or at least one of them, but they take a bit of a hammering, so I help out my one. If you're unsure which is yours, just use the freeze, which you should be using anyway, and you can't do any team damage to your own charmed units. So freeze the two, yep, try and run in with a charm. Lots of monsters here. I think this is near the final wave. Oh, I almost lose my health, so once again you can't die if you want the nightmare. 5 skulls, so just run back, play it safe, which does mean that it lets me a little bit closer than I would like. That's okay. I'm just keeping an eye on the mini map. See the two ogres are coming back this way. Charm one of them, charm both of them. So that's easy, that's sorted. So I know that it'll be tough for anything to come through that pathway. And I think that's it. I think this is the last little wave. So this map is basically hanging out by the portal and jumping between the two is sort of your best bet. kobolds here are going to try one last sprint, but fruitless really. But yeah, quite like this map, it's quite fun, and this is how I passed it on Nightmare to get the 5 skulls. Yeah, score, who knows, I have no idea whether it's good or not. I haven't jumped on the leaderboards or anything, but hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned.